Larry King was a highly respected broadcaster and pioneer in the talk show genre. Politicians, celebrities, sports stars, and musicians all sat opposite him to be gently but incisively interrogated. Now that he's died, tributes are pouring in. Plus, in this video, we'll chart his life and career and see what's being said in praise of this remarkable man. Larry King's early life and career. Larry King's parents were Orthodox Jews who came from Eastern Europe. They arrived in the United States from Belarus in the early 1930s. Larry was born in Brooklyn in 1933. When he was 9, his father suffered a fatal heart attack. Young Larry was very affected by this loss. He did, however, determine to be a success himself and set his heart on a career in broadcasting. In his early 20s, Larry was advised to go to Florida, where there was a burgeoning media industry. He followed this advice, and after some disappointments, he managed to get a job at WAHR in Miami Beach. By being in the right place at the right time, Larry was able to get his first break when a DJ quit and he was asked to stand in. This was 1957, and Larry worked as a morning disc jockey with afternoon news broadcasts, plus some sports reporting. Larry had been born Lawrence Zeiger, but the station manager suggested he change it to a snappier name. He became Larry King. It wasn't before he legally adopted this name. Larry moved to another radio station in Miami Beach called WIOD. He began a series of morning shows where he interviewed people at Pumpernicks, a local restaurant. It was here he interviewed his first celebrity when Bobby Darin walked in one morning. In 1960, he began hosting Miami Undercover, chairing debates on local issues. The show went out on Sundays on WPST TV Channel 10. His TV career was boosted by his friendship with Jackie Gleason, the respected comedian whose national variety show was recorded in Miami Beach. WIOD also appointed Larry as color commentator during Miami Dolphins games. However, he lost all his jobs at the end of 1971 when he was fired by WIOD and the TV station WTVJ. In December of that year, he was arrested. The charge against him was made by the financier Louis Wolfson, who claimed Larry had failed to return money that had been advanced to him. The charges were eventually dropped, and WIOD rehired Larry. He hosted a sports talk show during the mid-70s before launching his national talk show in 1978. The Larry King Show. The Mutual Broadcasting System had a talk show slot each evening that had been launched by Herb Jepko in 1975. Other hosts included Candy Jones and Long John Nebel. Larry King took over the show after Nebel died. It became The Larry King Show. The show ran from 1978 to 1994. During that time, Larry built up a devoted audience. The format consisted of a guest coming on to be interviewed, and then listeners would phone in with questions that would form the basis of the rest of the interview. Larry would wind up the show taking calls on any topic from listeners. This last segment was called Open Phone America and was timed to allow callers to phone in from all over the country. Larry got into the habit of giving regular callers nicknames like the Todd Cruz Caller, the Numbers Guy, the Scandal Scooper, and Mr. Radio. The shows were often peppered with humorous anecdotes or little segments devoted to an alien from the future who would predict the coming year's events. In 1993, Larry decided he needed to reduce his workload, as he was also hosting the TV show Larry King Live. Mutual Broadcasting moved Larry's show to an afternoon slot, but this meant he lost a substantial part of his late-night and overnight audience. In '94, Larry left Mutual and devoted his time to his CNN show. Larry King Live. Larry began his TV talk show, Larry King Live, on CNN in 1985. It proved to be CNN's longest-running program and their most watched, with over 1 million viewers tuning in every show. CNN also broadcasted the show on CNN International, so it gathered an audience across the world. Larry's interviewing style was sometimes criticized for being soft. It's true, he preferred questions that were open-ended and not too tough or challenging. He certainly attracted guests who normally avoided the more rigorous interviews. He never claimed what he did was journalism, preferring to call the format infotainment. He would allow a limited number of call-ins from viewers during some shows. On a few occasions, he received calls from celebrities or political figures. Larry also had to field prank calls on a small number of occasions. His first guest in 1985 was Mario Cuomo, who was the governor of New York at the time. His final show aired on December 16, 2010. It featured former President Bill Clinton and President Barack Obama. In the years between, Larry had interviewed many political figures and celebrities from entertainment and sport. One notable interviewee was Russian President Vladimir Putin in 2000. And in 2006, Oprah Winfrey used the show to announce her endorsement of presidential candidate Barack Obama. It's thought that without that endorsement, Obama would have struggled to get the Democratic nomination. Some topics occurred frequently during the 25 years of the show. At election times, politics would come to the fore, and there would be coverage of results as they came in on election night. Larry was interested in the paranormal, and this was evident by the frequency of guests in that field. Crossing Over with John Edward was a popular show on TV that dealt with the afterlife. John appeared often on Larry King Live, as did psychics James Van Praagh and Sylvia Brown. Those who were skeptical of the issue were also allowed time on the show. Larry also featured topics like UFOs and extraterrestrial life. He was on occasion accused of giving too much time to sensationalist current news items. Sometimes serious topics were pushed aside to allow time for such stories. Over the years, numerous guest hosts took charge of the show. Given recent events, perhaps the most notable was on June 5, 2010, when Donald Trump hosted the 25th anniversary edition. He turned the tables on Larry, who became the interviewee. Larry King Now. Following his retirement from Larry King Live, Larry founded Ora TV in association with Mexican businessman Carlos Slim. This was the vehicle for his new talk show, Larry King Now, which was a web-based project that kept Larry in the limelight. In 2013, Ora TV negotiated a deal with RT America, a Russian-owned TV network. They aired Politicking with Larry King from June 2013. Larry was criticized for having links with a Russian-owned network, but he dismissed the criticisms. Other activities. Between 2013 and 2015, Larry hosted an educational TV series called In View with Larry King. This was available on the cable networks Disney and Fox Business Network. He also made guest appearances in a range of films and TV shows. These included Ghostbusters, as well as being the voice of the ugly stepsisters in Shrek 2. He appeared in over 20 movies during his career. On TV, he appeared in episodes of Gravity Falls, Arthur, and 30 Rock, and he made a number of infomercials based on his popular interviewing techniques. He became an avid user of Twitter. He often said how much he loved tweeting and felt that communication was changing and everyone needed to accept that. In 1987, Larry suffered a heart attack, and after his recovery, he founded the Larry King Cardiac Foundation. This charity concentrates on covering the cost of cardiac procedures for those who can't afford them. Many lives have been saved through the generosity of this charity. He also contributed to the 9/11 Memorial Garden in Beverly Hills. This features a steel beam rescued from the World Trade Center. Personal life. Larry King was married to 7 different women, one of whom he married twice. His first marriage was at the age of 19 when he wed his sweetheart from high school, Frida Miller. Her parents, however, were unhappy about the union and had the marriage annulled. He went on to marry several different women, including Annette Kay, Mary Sulfin, Aline Akins, Sharon Lepore, Julie Alexander, and Sean Southwick, who was his 7th wife. Larry and Sean had 2 children together, Chance and Cannon. They divorced in 2019. Larry was destined to suffer ill health in the latter part of his life. He survived a heart attack in 1987 and had a tumor on his lung removed in 2017. In the spring of 2019, he had stents inserted in his heart during a routine angioplasty. It seems he had suffered a stroke around the same time, but that didn't become public knowledge until November. In December 2020, Larry King tested positive for COVID-19 and was hospitalized. He died on January 22, 2021. Larry's death has brought an outpouring of grief from his friends and colleagues. Piers Morgan, who took over the talk show slot on CNN, paid tribute, calling him a brilliant broadcaster and TV interviewer. George Takei said, "There was no one else like you." Andy Cohen tweeted a comment about his amazing voice, while Nancy Grace wrote, "You did so much for me." Suzanne Summers was one of Larry's great friends and credits her success to his support. She added he was filled with pure curiosity and that he could talk about anything. Larry King enjoyed a remarkable career, and we feel privileged here on Factsverse to be able to bring his story alive to you. It seems he was yet another victim of COVID-19, but he'll be remembered with fondness by everyone who knew him. What's your favorite memory of Larry King? When he would interview his guests on his show or his cameo appearances in TV and film? Let us know in the comments section. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.